That is what I would suggest. And maybe February 23rd is too early, but that need not be a deadline for a citizen's services. Otherwise, it is not era of good governance. I think it is erasing of good governance with this act. And I am really so disappointed to see the act. Last time I was disappointed to see the Delay and Transfer Act, but I am more disappointed to see this.
So we I must say.
Extend क्यों देता है इधर?
You can ask for extending the deadline.
Deadline?
Hello sir, my name is Mansi and I'm a student of St. Xavier's College. Sir, in my opinion, from what I've heard in the discussion so far, this act is not at all threatening. So there are so many assumptions that are made in all the clauses of this act that implementation will become impossible no matter what the degree of activism may be. So you spoke about, how this will reduce corruption and everything, but why does corruption happen in the first place? Corruption happens because these bureaucrats, they find ways around laws and they find ways to do something. So I would just like to know what are the ways that this act proposes that will cut down corruption. You can still get around these ways. Like what do they mean when they say the head of public authority will take action? So to what degree action, what sort of action? So and regarding the 50 defaults a year. So if you commit 40 defaults a year, you will not be reprimanded at all. No action will be taken against you. Also, what about the degree of defaults? So there can be, like Sir mentioned, there's personal services and there's civic services. So personal services still, you could say that the level is not it's not at that magnitude, but what about civic services? So degree of defaults is not under question here. Also, what about the decisions and services that are still pending? So you're starting this bill right now. What about those decisions, what about those services which have been pending for ages and ages and those cases are still lying there collecting dust? What do you propose to do about these things? So there are a lot of loopholes, and though we talk about activism and media pressure and this and that, if this bill would go forward like this, no amount of media pressure can do anything to reduce it.
Okay, good. Thanks. But let me just say quickly, as far as Lopadhikar is concerned, what we're trying to do is not take all the government services the way they are. We are actually saying that is it necessary for you to provide this service? I'll give you an example. A few years back, there's something called manufacturing and everything is considered quite important now. There's something called a boiler inspector. You know what a boiler inspector is? That when you see him, your blood boils. But that was not really what the purpose was. The purpose was when your boiler gets constructed, his job is to come and certify and say that now this boiler is fit to be used, right? He has to certify. But then only he could sign. Now, whenever only there was a monopoly, then you could understand what would happen. So what the government did at that time, and in fact Mr. Bongirwar was the chief secretary at that time, he said, why do you need a boiler inspector? Allow IITs to certify it, allow UDCT to certify it. So he opened it up to 10 other people. So the boiler inspector now was not a monopoly. You could actually go to IIT. If they certify this is a good enough boiler to start your operation, you could start. So immediately at that level, corruption just vanished. So what we are now also doing, in addition to just what we talked about, is actually going to question to say, are these services, government should really provide these services? Can you not open it up for somebody else also to provide it? If you can bring in more and more competition, you will get better and better service. So that's going to be a mandate that we are also running with.
I was and am involved in the theatre. And this is a piece of trivia that I'm sharing with you. All scripts had to be approved by government, and the scripts went to the Department of Steam Boilers, Theatre and Smoke Nuisances. Okay, the point I wanted to make is what is beginning to emerge strongly today, I don't know if you would agree, is that an alliance between citizens like us and the press, this place where we're sitting, that alliance will be a very potent one. And if we have formed that small group that you're suggesting and push citizens and the press together and the media together, I think it will be very difficult for any government to resist, especially if we've got a chief minister who's on our side to begin with.
This is Dolphy D'Souza from Police Reforms Watch. One is we already have a wealth of activism in this particular group. I think before we leave, first of all, if we have, besides that small core group that you're talking about, is others who are going to be part of this campaign, because this is a battle. We need this act. So this is a battle, that's point number one. Point number two, we need to have a structured attack in terms of a goal plan. on the advocacy side with the political establishment, bureaucracy on one side, and on the activism side. If you don't have a structured goal plan, then we are going to aim, everybody is going to do things on their own, and we are not going to head anywhere. So maybe these two aspects. One is a call from here to those who are, at least we are making a beginning here, who could basically support this campaign, call for an early meeting of those, you set up your core team, and the third is a structured goal plan based on this, exchange it through emails, so that we have what we call a plan that is put in place, at least for a run-up till the 23rd, which is very, very short.
So can I suggest maybe Gurupuri and Prakash, whether you can, supposing once a month, if you allow us, and those who are here, because a lot of people when they go out will feel that everything sounds good, but what do I do? I mean, I feel powerless immediately after. What do I do? So supposing once a month, if you're okay, we could probably be just meet up here, whosoever wants to come from here, and then just chalk out an action plan, and then see we can move forward. Do you think
Maybe we can get the Chief Minister again. I mean, try to get that. Yep. Because he may have slipped out of this one, but we'll get him in the next round. But certainly, I mean, if you're going to meet just to kind of ideate and to discuss other plans, most welcome. Yeah.
So I think maybe this Sunday or Saturday we can probably make a beginning, prepare an action plan, and then start working on it. So anybody who wants to really, who feels very strongly, can become a part of it. So you don't feel powerless when you move out of this place.
Are there any other questions? Otherwise, we'll wind up, or do you have any other discussion?
Yeah, 1 minute.
See, if Sunday this place is absolutely free. So if you like, the best time is post 6 p.m. on Sunday. You're most welcome to.
You can even have a drink. Sanjay,
You'll have to pay for that.
info at Mumbai at Delhi, you can send this. You don't allow anything free from the press.
Is there an email ID or something that we can send us?
Hello?
Share with this.
I would like to suggest one thing. Most of the activists here deal with municipal corporation. And this prohibition of delay is not applicable to municipal corporation. There is a section 64A to 64D, and I can tell from my own experience that it is not operative in municipal corporation. Though, there are some examples. Because bureaucrats are lazy, they don't know that it is not applicable to municipal corporation. By making application, they have replied to it, and those are circulated as success stories, but that is not really true. So I would like to know from the panel how to deal with the municipal corporation as far as this.
Sir, 64A to 64C as far as delays is concerned applies 100% to the municipal corporation. Now, even the Chief Secretary of the state doesn't respond to the delays in governmental work. I have been writing letters and it's a one-way street. I'm sure he doesn't even read them, they just scrap it. The point is, at both places, and here's a suggestion, I mean, we can meet, we can draw out plans, but something I've been talking about for the past 6 months, I'm sure all of you will be able to identify at least a couple of things where you or your neighbor or your friend has not got a response from the government for over 45 days. Send a letter, let's start activating this. We are not using it. RTI incidentally had two things going for it. One, when the RTI Act was drafted, a lot of us had a kind of ringside seat because of the political dispensation at that time. So the Act was drafted with citizen participation. B, there was a lot of citizen movement, and the Act has been popularized by citizens. Unfortunately, so far, for this Act, we've not been able to, I mean, it's our own weakness, I would say, we've not been able to get that kind of support. But if we do, I would request all of you, forget whether you come or not. If you come, it's fantastic. Sitting at your own house, wherever you find, or somebody else finds that for 45 days, no response has been given, start activating this Act. And if we get 1,000 such cases, I do not believe any government can then refute us or not answer to us.
From the point of view of the press, I think Sailesh knows this strategy from the beginning. Whenever he got, whenever he's positively able to nail a particular case or a particular bureaucrat under the RTI. These individual cases is what makes the story. And this is what the media used to carry, because that encapsulates the woes and the problems of the common man. Now similarly, whenever you get a case under this Transfers and Delays Act or whatever it is, specific cases, these are the ones which you can highlight in your monthly meetings. And we can ask members of the media also to be part of those briefings. If you have such cases, those can be brought out, those cases which are, and those are the ones which will make the big story in the newspaper. And that will give the kind of push for others to take up similar cases.
In the London Times, I read that the bureaucrats, before they prepare an act, they prepare a loophole for it. And we are following the British pattern, I think, and I'm sure most of our acts have loopholes. And we have also bureaucrats who are today activists. I think if these bureaucrats try to locate the loopholes and suggest amendments, I think we will have a better act.
Yes. Can we give you an email address?
Yes.
info@lokadhikar one word .com.
Shailesh, can the RTI be used to expedite the charters to be displayed on in the service?
Actually, I use a combination of right to information and this. Just a very simple example I'll give you. Using RTI, I located the officers who were responsible for a certain delay. I filed a complaint under this Transfers and Delay Act, and they didn't reply. I followed that up 2 months later. It's a battle which is going on with the Municipal Corporation. 2 months later, I sent another RTI saying, what did you do with that letter? And now I'm threatening to use the same Delays and Transfers Act for not replying to me. So, see, innovatively, you can actually keep putting pressure.
Can we not use section 6 and 10 to find out as to why the charters are not being displayed?
Again, for the charters, there is a slight modification. We've got a standard draft. Ask A, when the charter was made, and if not made, it's a violation of the Act. Ask for somebody to be held responsible. They won't answer that. Then you follow up with RTS. So it's a kind of, but whole point is, if a few thousand of us start doing it, we can force this government. We can definitely do it.
No, my point was that if these charters get displayed in the offices, automatically from day one, the public becomes aware. Look, this is what they are supposed to do, and we are not getting it.
Sir, a final question, sir, to Gandhi sir. I had asked this question. We are, like this gentleman had said, we have to see the loopholes which they don't keep to have an escape valve or whatever. The action, everybody is talking the point of time for action to be taken in a particular application, a file or whatever. We have not defined action at what point of time is over. There is a case in front of me where an FIR is lodged with the police after a lot of pressurizing them, and when you go to them and ask them, sir, what about this case? They said action has already been taken, but that is not the only action. Only registering an FIR, I don't think is an action which is completed. The final action should be defined so that we don't have any loopholes. Whatever suggestions, in that 18 suggestions we are making, so I would say that it should be pointed out at what point of time the action is complete. Is the charge sheet, the final charge sheet which is sent in the court, that is the police action is over then. If he says I have registered an FIR against the lady and the action is complete, that is not complete. So we have to define what action and at what point of time the action is complete.
So you would like to reply to that?
Sir, that's not it. It's all case. See, there is already website, लोकाधिकार. तो लोकपाल के टाइम जैसे इन्होंने एक पूरा लोकपाल रीड्राफ्ट करके अमेंडमेंट करके रख दिया, वैसे ही इस पे आप अगर आपका जो सरकार को देना है वो रीड्राफ्ट करके रख देंगे अमेंडमेंट के साथ एंड देन अलाउ द पीपल इफ एनीबडी वांट्स अ सजेशन दे गिव द सजेशन आल्सो एंड देन रीड्राफ्ट आल्सो
I think good idea. We'll implement.
दैट इज ए
We are the students of Sir and Vishweshwar Institute of Management Studies and Research. We would like to first thank Lokadhikar for allowing us to attend this session. In order to help with this activism, what we have thought is we can go up to the government offices and look for the citizens' charter, if they are put up or not, and submit a report at the end of the day. I think that's the least we can do.
If there's nothing else,
Before we end off, from the press club side, we'd like to thank the entire Lok Adhikar team who's done a lot of work on this. Jason, Sanjay Wale, Sailesh Gandhi, and of course two very accomplished senior journalists who've been working very hard, Shashi Baliga and Anjali Mathur, who've been here, who put the whole thing together. So can I request the press club treasurer, Mrityunjay, to present a small memento. These are the leading stories which won the Reading Awards last year, which has been put together as an anthology. I think you may have already got a copy. No, you did. Okay, so please, Mrityunjay, you can start with Jason. Thank you very much.
old people can't stand up easily.
Mr. Sanjay Wale and Sailesh Gandhi. Many of them are related to public activism and implementing orders. You'll find some of the stories very interesting there. And certainly, like we discussed, I mean, to carry this conversation and the whole movement of getting the RTS into legislation, in whichever way the press club can help, we'd be most glad to do so. And I would suggest Sunday, when more people are free, you could maybe convene the meetings on Sunday, or it could be even Saturday afternoon. But that we can discuss and finalize it, and you can circulate it on email. So thank you very much for all the participants and the activists who have assembled here, as well as members of the media who are covering the event. There's some tea served, so please join us for some tea and biscuits.
And on behalf of